Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and today we're going to talk about two bugs. I know this is very strange, however, the bugs are quite interesting and they need to be talked about. So this save file was sent over to me by Samurai Warrior of Clan Legio Italica. He's also very well known in the multiplayer circuit, one of the people who do the whole thing with the Warhammer World Championship. And normally I don't like to discuss bugs, however, he messaged me and this was quite interesting. What you can see here is a settlement battle, right? Well, it's not really a settlement battle, this is the thing. So, vampires on the player's side, a settlement garrison, but the garrison's actually from a settlement that's near in the sphere of influence. It's not actually the garrison defending the town, because the vampires are the aggressors here. The Imperials are the defenders, yet in encamp stance, they managed to trigger a settlement battle. Now, this is already odd enough as it is, mostly because encampment does not actually generate an actual camp. It could be that something like this was being tested by Creative Assembly for the possibility of encamped stuff, you know, like we used to have in old school Total Wars, but yeah, it's not the case, and it's actually quite interesting. This is either old code, very old code, because these things do happen. You know, Creative Assembly once went out and said spaghetti code, and that has actually triggered some very bizarre bugs in the past. Or, yeah, they could have just been testing this as a proper feature. But this isn't the only reason why I wanted to talk about this. There's actually something really interesting about this situation. And by the way, this seems to be an extremely rare circumstance. It's not modded, it's completely vanilla. I've tried to replicate this, but it seems it's just, for some reason, in very rare circumstances. The footage you're seeing is from the save file that was provided, but I've not been able to replicate this over and over. It's just a very strange thing. So it gets a little bit weirder. As you can see here, battle begins as normal, despite the fact that we're attacking an encamped enemy, and for some reason they've got access to the Ogre Kingdom's camp, which is very strange, especially since even though we're fighting in the territories of the Empire, yeah, we've got the Badlands map too. It's a very strange bug, isn't it? And it gets even stranger. Yeah, I know, it's a super weird thing where the settlement itself doesn't have the usual points, right? So it has free capture points. This is the usual thing that you can imagine in settlement battles, but no towers, no build locations, no nothing. And it's rather curious. As the battle commences, you'll start to see that, yeah, there's no towers, there's nothing. It's really strange, because as far as I'm aware, this map does have some things here and there, and you just play a normal battle. This is actually more or less what I've actually wanted when it came to a proper minor defense battle or a proper siege. No tower defense, no points, no nothing, just terrain and making use of the terrain for yourself. What I do realize here is the AI actually works in a pretty decent way, because if you didn't know, when it comes to the buildings and stuff, sometimes that can play around with the AI. It can play around with your pathfinding too, as you might have noticed in big sieges, you might go to attack a location, send your units to one place, and they'll start scrambling, or especially if a barricade's been built up, the computer, after you've actually given a order, won't know how to actually, you know, compute it. So this is obviously one of the stranger bugs that I've seen, but it shows that sieges could be worked down if Creative Assembly kind of want to do that. And yes, I know that mods already do this, but keep in mind that mods are used by a fraction of the community. Whereas maybe in the future, a toggle would be kind of cool. Allow people to choose if they want to actually have the mechanics like the tower building and the barricade building and all that type of stuff, or not. Now obviously this is likely a tester map. This is probably the map that they tested how sieges were going to work before implementing the other mechanics. It's very strange that it made it into the base game, even with really weird circumstances. However, it does give me a little bit of hope that maybe they'll add in the toggle system, or just change things around to be a bit less minigame-ish, you know, less arcadey. With the regard of the encampment stance, it would be cool if we saw encampment stuff come back. Older Total Wars had this, and it was kind of cool. It's a bit of a shame. Let's be honest, a lot of older mechanics have been lost over the years, and the more Total Wars we get, the more we actually lose, which is a little sad. But hey, that's a topic for another day. What do you guys think about both of these bugs, right? the encampment stance, where armies that decide to go in encampment stance would have a specific map tied to them should they get attacked. Just like the ogre camps, essentially, where you'd have a base format and then, you know, it would just change in the terms of the biome and the textures, all the usual thing. And obviously the fact that, yes, there is a map that doesn't have the arcade system. What do you think about that? I know that the arcade system is something that a lot of people don't like. I personally don't like it either. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let's start a bit of discussion. Apologies for a shorter video today. I've had to deal with some stuff and yeah, it's taking a while. But with that being said, have a great day and I'll see you all again very, very soon.